Indeed, as you say, I have chosen my style, and what you have put into my life has absolutely nothing to do with that. My style was quite clear. I was a totally peaceful person, friendly to all, helpful, caring, actually an altruist, an idealist, a virgin believing in real love, waiting for it to appear one day in my life, to meet the man whom in time I started considering my husband from the previous lifetime. But from the very start, meeting the man who would become my husband, and the man being the only one with whom I would actually have sex. I have never had any doubt. I have never had any doubt as to different development of relations with men. I have never considered any sexual relationship with someone who is homosexual. I have never ever considered any romance involving sex. I have never ever considered any relationship with a married man other than a love relationship, and should this really make sense, him getting divorced and marrying me. So I have never been a lover, and I have never considered any possibility of me becoming a lover. Not to mention all sorts of prostitution, including the role of the prostitute, that's assistance to politicians play. I have really chosen my life, and I have lived it consistently, developing as a full person, as a woman, developing spiritually, starting from the Roman Catholic Church through my own ways of looking for the spiritual, meditation with colors among them. First steps in meditation, where you let all sorts of things pass through your mind. These were, of course, normal life conditions, so I was there on my own. Scientology. I did Scientology my way. It had nothing to do with Satanism. So whoever attached Satanism to it, especially when informing others about Scientology, especially in an official way, is guilty. Is guilty, especially if this is the church, the Roman Catholic Church, is guilty of the sin against the Holy Spirit. Because these people have nothing to do with Satanism. People like me, who decided to learn Scientology and use it for good, for the greatest good, of the greatest number of dynamics, as they call it, so for general well-being. I have been developing spiritually through actual life, working as a teacher, which was a model role, really. I mean, I was not doing it as a model role, but Jesus was a teacher, first of all. And living with people day by day, always being there helpful, always being there ready to listen, always being there ready to be. Through all my involvement in truth and justice, which are really the code, the biblical code, the truth and justice, and not mercy, the truth and justice. Apart from love, of course. I have always been loving. I have decided what my life was to be, what my life is to be, through my education. I guess no one had any doubt that I would be learning all my life. So I see no reason why it has been being blocked for me. I was to stay at the university and teach English literature. Well, I'm not God, so I did break down when I realized that I would not follow that path, and I had no other option. And then after years, so I got stuck for a few years. I became a teacher in the meantime. And after a few years, when I was finally writing my MA thesis, the 11th of September came. And then I decided that I would solve the problem of terrorism. And I have been doing that. So, indeed, I have chosen my style. I have never used any violence. I have never used any foul means. I have never spoken untruth since 2001, except for the situation when I was applying for the US visa. And I did not plan to work in the United States. However, I did not plan to come back to teach at school either, especially that the agreement was over. So this is the lie I told, that I was coming back to teach at school. And all these years I have been so generous and so good, and I have taken so many peace measures. Finally I turned to philosophy, and I was even ready to study it in Russian. Can you imagine that? After all Russia had done to me and my family, I was ready to learn Russian, to learn it at the level of philosophy, to be able to communicate with Russians. For goodness sake, I'm a saint. But you destroyed that chance too. So I have really chosen my style, and you've been doing your best to destroy it. But it will always live as long as I live, because I do not wear a suit from Armani or whoever else. I do not wear a suit from Agnieszka Rojek. I am Agnieszka Bata Magdalena Rojek, and I live. And this is all that is needed to have a style. And I believe that it will live longer, because it has become a part of history through the crime you have committed against it. Whomever you are going to sign under my life, it will always be my life, not theirs, not theirs. So actually, they don't exist, not me. Agnieszka Bata Magdalena.